Jim Harbaugh is playing with dynamite. If the NFL's not there to bail him out after this season, this guy's coaching future is ruined. Let me explain. So it came out on Thursday that the NCAA is investigating Michigan football for illegal sign stealing. Now it comes out, or at least Michigan is accused of having scouts in person in stadiums, scouting and writing down, videoing team signals offensively and defensively that they would signal into their team. That is illegal according to the NCAA. That is what Michigan is being accused of, along with, by the way, let's not forget, this comes on the heels of an investigation into Jim Harbaugh where there was different recruiting violations, different coaching violations, that, by the way, that investigation is still open. Michigan imposed a 3-game suspension for Jim Harbaugh for the first 3 games this upcoming season, or this season that's already commencing, but the NCAA investigation is still open. That's not concluded. So we could see potentially more punishments come down the pike for Harbaugh and Michigan, depending on how that hearing does go later on after this season. So now this is the second NCAA investigation right now into Harbaugh, or I should say into Michigan, led by Jim Harbaugh, that is currently open and ongoing. And so when you look at why right now Michigan is constantly in trouble, and specifically Jim Harbaugh in trouble with the NCAA, Jim Harbaugh right now is a guy acting like Michael Scott. For those Office fans, you get it. But for those not, I'll explain it really fast here. Michael Scott was the regional manager at the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company show from The Office. He felt like he was underappreciated, so he quit. He put his 2 weeks notice in, and he was going to start his own paper company. But in those 2 weeks, he was still working at Dunder Mifflin. So what did he do? Whatever the hell he wanted. Didn't work, drank scotch during the day on the job. He did whatever he felt like doing because he already quit. Hey, what are they going to do, fire you? You already quit. You're there for 2 weeks and then you're out of there. So he knew they couldn't do anything, so he did whatever he wanted. That's how Jim Harbaugh is operating right now. He is doing whatever he wants. NCAA rules be damned. I can't do this? Watch me. He is acting like right now Michael Scott. He is doing whatever he wants to do. Why though? Why is he acting like that? Because just like Michael Scott had kind of his parachute starting his own paper company and he knew he was leaving anyway, I think Jim Harbaugh believes deep down at the end of this year, he's gone from Michigan. He's back in the NFL. That's what I think he's banking on. He's banking on being an NFL head coach in 2024. So he knows with how glacially slow the NCAA is in investigations and handing down punishments, whatever he does this year, he'll never see the fruitions of that, if you will. He breaks any rules this year, well, by the time they investigate him and find him guilty, he'll be in the NFL. Here's why, though, Harbaugh's playing with dynamite. There's no guarantee right now the NFL is interested in Jim Harbaugh. I would say right now more unlikely than likely that he's an NFL head coach next year. Because the NFL has already not shown the same interest in Harbaugh that Harbaugh has shown in the NFL. He's made no secret with his actions, right? He wants to be an NFL head coach. There's no doubt about it. Look at what he's done the last few years. Go back 2 years ago. On National Signing Day before the 2022 season, where's Jim Harbaugh? Not at Michigan. He's interviewing for the Minnesota Vikings head coaching job. Did not get it. And what did he say? As soon as he did not get the job, he said, and I quote, basically, I'll paraphrase here. I don't know why I said and I quote because I'm not directly quoting him. Paraphrasing. He said basically, I'm not leaving. This is a one-time interview. I want to be at Michigan and pull to Kyrie Irving for as long as you'll have me. You'll never hear about me in the NFL ever again. Okay, sounding great. What happened the very next offseason? After the 2022 season, which I went to the college football playoff. Where was Jim Harbaugh? Oh, doing the exact opposite of what he said. He's interviewing and talking to multiple NFL teams. Had a chat with the Panthers and had an interview with the Broncos. Neither went anywhere. So this is a guy who said, I want to be in Michigan for as long as you'll have me. Then the very next year, the very next offseason, when he possibly could interview for an NFL job, there he was interviewing and talking to multiple teams to try to get a job. So Harbaugh wants to desperately be in the NFL. That is, I think, his ultimate end goal, not being at Michigan for the rest of his life. But the thing is, even though he's gotten interviews from the Vikings, from the Broncos, and the Panthers at least had enough interest to have an informal chat, whatever that, technically means. There's been no second interview. There's been no job offers. There's been no real serious consideration for him being a head coach, at least at those three organizations. So Harbaugh maybe thinks, I'll be the Bears head coach next year, Chargers with Justin Herbert, maybe the Raiders when Josh McDaniels inevitably sinks that team and breaks Mark Davis's will. I'm sure he has those sight sets on those teams, and yeah, that's where I'll be. But right now, the NFL has shown no indication that they want Harbaugh back. And so if that holds true again this offseason, or even if he's interviewing, but 2023 offseason going to next year is the same as 2022 and 2021, where there was some interest, but no one hired him. Well, all of a sudden, if you're Harbaugh now, you've been acting like you're out the door, right? You are acting like you put your 2 weeks in at Michigan, and this is your last season. Well, if you don't get an NFL job this upcoming offseason, and you are now back at Michigan in 2024, well, all of a sudden, you hear that? You got violations knocking on your door. That S-storm right now that you have created with your recruiting violations, with your coaching violations, now with your illegal sign stealing, if this actually is proven to be true, you're going to pay the price for it. Oh, look, I'm not here to talk about if these are actual serious violations he should be getting punished for. That's, frankly, I think a lot of these are stupid. But the thing is, the NCAA overall is stupid. They make no sense. And so when they are the ones making the rules and also handing down the punishments, when they are the judge, jury, and executioner, you can't afford to really, get in a fight with them because you're going to lose that every time. And now it seems like if you are not in the NFL next year, the NCAA is not going to be taking it easy on you. I think they want blood. Remember, he served a 3-game suspension in 2023. Why did he do that? It was not, again, from the NCAA. It was from Michigan. Because the NCAA was working towards maybe a 4-game suspension where kind of both parties agree, okay, fine, 4 games is fair enough, we'll shake on it. Kind of almost, you bargain it out. Well, the bargaining part of the NCAA thought, yeah, this is fair. The governing body of the NCAA said, oh, no. We're not accepting this. We're going for more. We're going for blood. They rejected that. Michigan tried to extend an olive branch by suspending Jim Harbaugh for the first 3 games against Cupcake U. But the NCAA still has that investigation open. And I think they want blood. So you look at that investigation. On top of now sign stealing, if, again, this is proven to be true. Right now it's an investigation and there are allegations. I'm not going to tell you and sit here and say Jim Harbaugh absolutely did it. But I'll tell you this, if it did happen, Jim Harbaugh's head coach, and he 1,000,000% knew what was going on and authorized the action. So he cannot claim innocence if this is proven to be true. His hands are not clean, that's for sure. And so now you have 2 potential NCAA violations sitting on your door that you got to now answer for and could be punished for, both you and the program, for 2024 and beyond. That's why I think Harbaugh's coaching future could absolutely be ruined here if he's on the NFL, because those violations can be tough. Like, look at the Big Ten. There's absolutely a chance right now, if Harbaugh suspended, misses some games, has recruiting, restrictions, all of a sudden Ohio State, who has been the little brother the last 2 years to Michigan, could jump them in 2024 and beyond. Penn State could surpass them. Oh yeah, don't forget, by the way, next year the Big Ten's welcoming USC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon. 3 of those 4 teams in the top 15, or I guess top 20, with USC losing. Like, the Big Ten's only getting harder. So it's not like Michigan is going to have a grip on the Big Ten going forward the way they have the last 2 years. So that's why if you're Jim Harbaugh, I don't get the brazen activity. I don't get why you are walking around like you are bulletproof, or you're walking around like you already have 1 foot out the door and you know it's a guarantee next year you'll be in the NFL. The NFL has not shown the same love and want that you have given to them. And if you are not in the NFL next year, you are now going to be dealing with this storm you have created thanks to your brazen activity and don't give a you-know-what attitude about the rules and do whatever you want. You now have to answer for that. And these punishments are severe. You are crippling yourself. You are crippling Michigan in an ever-competitive super tough conference going forward. Harbaugh's playing with dynamite. And if he's not in the NFL next year, that dynamite's going to blow up in his hand. And I think blow up his coaching future.